The closet door opened by itself at exactly 3:12 a.m. I hadn't left it open. I grabbed my phone and switched on the flashlight. The closet was empty, except every shirt I owned was hanging backward, facing the wall. Then I heard a slow breath behind me. I spun around, nothing. My apartment was silent again. Trying to calm down, I checked the security camera I'd installed near the front door. The recording showed me arriving home an hour earlier. Then, 30 minutes after I went to bed, someone walked out of my bedroom. The figure never looked at the camera. It quietly crossed the living room, disappeared into the kitchen and never came back. I searched every room, nothing. No broken windows, no unlocked doors, no place anyone could hide. I told myself it had to be a camera glitch. Then I opened the refrigerator. Half of my leftovers were gone. I knew I hadn't eaten them. My phone buzzed. An unknown number had sent a single message. "Please stop looking for me. I still live here." I didn't call the police. Instead, I replayed the security footage frame by frame. At 2:41 a.m., the figure returned. This time, it stopped in front of the camera. But its face was hidden beneath the hood. It slowly raised one finger and pointed directly toward my bedroom. I turned around. The bedroom door was closed. I was certain I'd left it open. A faint scraping sound came from inside. "Hello?" I called. Silence. Then a calm voice answered from behind the door. "Please don't come in." It was my own voice. My hands shook as I grabbed the doorknob. The room was empty, but the bed was warm. Someone had been lying there only seconds earlier. I stepped backward and noticed fresh, muddy footprints leading to the bedroom wall. Not the window, not the closet, the wall. As I stared, a tiny section of the wallpaper shifted inward, as if someone behind it had just taken another silent step. My phone vibrated. Another message appeared. "You found the entrance." The wallpaper moved again. I pressed my ear against the wall. Someone whispered, "He's awake." My pulse exploded. I grabbed a screwdriver and peeled the wallpaper back. Behind it wasn't concrete. It was a narrow wooden door, hidden so perfectly it could have stayed there for decades. I forced it open. A cramped passage stretched between the walls of my apartment. There was a thin mattress, empty food cans, water bottles, a flashlight. Someone had been living there. Then I saw dozens of photographs pinned to the wood. Every single one was of me, sleeping, cooking, watching TV. Some had yesterday's date. One had been taken less than an hour ago. A voice echoed from deeper inside the passage. "You weren't supposed to find this." I aimed my flashlight down the tunnel. A man slowly stepped into the light. His face stayed hidden. He raised both hands. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said. "I'm hiding from the person who's living in your bedroom." Before I could answer, heavy footsteps echoed above us. They weren't coming from my apartment. They were coming from inside the ceiling. Then a second voice whispered directly over my head. "He knows we're both here now." The footsteps above us stopped. Then something slammed against the ceiling. Dust rained into the hidden passage as the man beside me grabbed my arm. "We have to move," he whispered. "Who is up there?" His face turned pale. "You." Before I could speak, a section of the ceiling slowly opened. A pair of shoes hung through the gap, then legs. Someone climbed down into the passage with impossible calm. The flashlight finally reached his face. It was mine, not similar. Exactly mine. He smiled as if we'd known each other forever. "You found my room," he said. I stepped back. "Who are you?" He shrugged. "The tenant." The man beside me pulled a folded newspaper from his backpack and shoved it into my hands. The headline froze my blood. "Local man missing after apartment fire. Building 407 declared uninhabitable. The date was 14 months old. My apartment number. My name." I looked back at the copy of myself. He wasn't smiling anymore. He was staring at me with pity. "You don't remember the fire," he said quietly. "You've been walking through the same apartment ever since." The lights overhead flickered. Every wall around us began to crack. From somewhere beyond the darkness, dozens of voices whispered at once. "It's time for you to wake up." The apartment collapsed around me. Walls dissolved into white hospital lights. The hidden passage, the stranger, the copy of me, they all faded like smoke. I opened my eyes. Doctors rushed into the room. Someone shouted, "He's awake!" My mother grabbed my hand, crying, "You came back," she whispered. For a moment, I believed the nightmare was finally over. Then a detective entered my room. He placed a folder on my bed. "We searched your apartment after the fire," he said quietly. There was something we never explained. Inside the folder was a photograph. Behind the wall of apartment 407, they had found a tiny hidden room, a mattress, empty food cans, water bottles, and one disturbing detail. There was no exit. It couldn't have supported human life, the detective said, yet someone had clearly been living there. I stared at the photo. Written across the wall in faded black marker were 6 words. I was never alone in here. My phone vibrated. It was the same phone destroyed in the fire. One new message appeared. Unknown sender. You woke up, but I didn't leave. I looked toward the hospital room door. A man stood in the hallway, same height, same face, same scar. He smiled once, then calmly walked away before anyone else noticed him. I never saw him again, but every apartment I've lived in since has one wall that sounds hollow.